Good morning. I'm going to read to you from the Dharmapada, the Sayings of the Buddha. Little pocket, little booklet we have here. And it's called The Elephant. In the same way, drag yourself out of your sloth. If the traveler can find a virtuous and wise companion, let him go with him joyfully and overcome the dangers of the way. But if you cannot find friend or master to go with you, travel on alone, like a king who has given away his kingdom. Like an elephant in the forest, travel on alone, rather than with a fool for company. Do not carry with you your mistakes. Do not carry your cares. Travel on alone, like an elephant in the forest. To have friends in need is sweet, and to share happiness, and to have done something good before leaving this life is sweet, and to let go of sorrow. To be a mother is sweet, and a father is sweet. To live arduously, and to master yourself. Oh, how sweet it is to enjoy life, living in honesty and strength. And wisdom is sweet and freedom. I was reflecting on existence, like existence of my birth. And today was interesting because the topic came up about our birth names. Kind of coincides what I was reflecting on overnight. Is our identity our birth name? Or is it what we do? You know, we become an artist because we paint or play music. Is that our identity? Or is it just what we do? Becoming a monk. Is that my identity, or is that what I do? And so, looking at the life of the Buddha, he was born into a wealthy family. His title was a prince, and he lived as a prince. And then he stepped out of the palace walls. And just thinking of like what he was thinking. Who am I? Am I a prince? Or is that what I do? So he went out with the ascetics to renounce all that he was doing and what he was brought up to be because of the influence of his father and his surroundings. Is that who we are? Is that our identity of what we are involved in and those around us? Is that who I am? And that's what the practice does. It causes you to slow down, just to really see what it is that you are doing. Is it just what you are doing that you enjoy? How does it affect your life and your livelihood? Does it bring you happiness, joy, comforts? Does it contribute to others? And in the life of the Buddha, he discovered that when he left his home, about 19 years old, and just roamed for like 6 years. Or, no, is it 6 years?
You're getting too quiet.
Yes, I forget that timeline, but anyways, he was learning how to let go of all of the attachments of his upbringing, because it was such a facade that his father was presenting to him. And so, discovering self, or the Buddha nature within, allowing that to rise, is a continuous practice. In the teachings of the Buddha, in this physical life that we are living, our actions, what are we choosing to do? Are we choosing to be compassionate, caring, assisting others in the time of need? That itself will bring you comfort and peace, because you're not bringing harm to anyone, you're not imposing anything on others, you're just allowing it to be present, just be present in that need of others. In my practice, I'm learning every day to really reflect on what it is that I'm doing. Stepping out of the way, allowing your Buddha nature to arise.
Ask you a question. What happened to the elephant?
Right. What happened to him?
Yeah, I don't know. The elephant disappeared.
Yeah.
He was waiting all this time to get out the elephant.
Oh yeah, the elephant. He was in the forest being an elephant.
Yeah. Well, did the elephant ever come into the city?
Well, it stopped, I was just reading what was here, and I know, are you talking about when the elephant came into the
No,
city?
I'm talking about that you read a moderate passage from the Dharmapada, and I made an assumption, which was not necessarily good, that you were actually going to talk about that.
Yes.
You talked about names and things like that, but you didn't talk about, you never came back to the elephant.
Right.
You never told us why you mentioned the elephant.
Right. Okay.
So let me give you a hint. Does the elephant have to know it's called an elephant to be an elephant?
No.
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 And you could have gone off. Just a little coaching here.
Right.
Obviously, we're not gonna, he's got great ideas, but he needs a little public speaking coaching.
Yes.
He's doing a lot better than he used to do. But he gets very intense, and he gets quieter, quieter when he gets intense. So you've got to keep him entertained.
Right.
And you could get a sock puppet.
Yeah.
And every time you see him get bored, you pull out the sock puppet and you do a little something with it.
I do have an elephant. I do. It's pretty cool. I could have brought it out. It's like a little, it's pretty cool. It's like this small.
Yeah, yeah.
But there is a story of the
You
Buddha.
want to borrow my Kermit? I can loan you my Kermit. Miss Piggy, where are you? I'm looking for you, Miss Piggy.
Right. The story, there is a story of the elephant. Didn't the elephant come into the village and the Buddha?
Yes, there is a story of the elephants that ran wild.
Right.
The elephant that ran wild through a village and was destroying everything. Yes, you could have brought that in if you wanted to.
Right.
And how old was the Buddha when he went off? He died at 80.
Yes,
He taught for 45 years.
yes, he started at
At
35.
35, he was enlightened.
Yes,
At 28, he left
yeah.
on his quest. I'm just going backwards.
Yeah. He was married at 19, was it?
No, he was
18?
19
He was
anything.
young.
He died at 80.
Uh-huh.
He taught for 45 years, subtract 45 from 80.
He's 35.
He was 35 when he became awakened.
Yes, I knew
Subtract
that.
7 years in the forest from 35.
Oh, 7.
He was 28
Okay.
when he left. So he's a full-grown adult.
Okay, I had seen those dates or the years, but I got it mixed
Yeah,
up.
I
I
know.
said 6 years.
Well, you know, if you asked me how old was when he left, I'd have to stop.
Right.
But I knew, I knew how old he was when he died,
Mhm.
and I know he taught for 45 years. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How I figured that out?
Uh,
If you'd asked me before we walked in, how old was the Buddha when he left, I'd go, wait a minute, I'd have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So 19,
I
he
got
had,
my
he
dates.
was a party animal. Yeah, we know that, he was a party animal, and he lived a high life and all of that.
Yes.
You don't usually think of a 19-year-old doing that, you think of someone a little bit older. Had dancing girls and
Yeah.
danced, music all night, and they all drank till they passed out. It's like a biker club.
Oh my gosh. A palace, clubhouse. Yes. I have that all in my head, like,
Sure you do.
it's, when it comes like right here, I just, but
Well,
all these sensations come up and I get lost in my
There's two
sensations.
devices you can use.
Yeah,
One device is you write notes, but you don't write a speech.
right.
You write notes for key things that you want to remember to keep you on track. And the other is use index cards, which is what I used to use when I gave a speech.
Yeah.
And all it had was main topics.
Mhm.
Like if I was going to forget somebody's name, I'd write it on a card. So as I'm going along and I get up to, Siddhartha Gautama, oh, okay, I said that, and I put it underneath, and then I go to the next thing.
And I was going to go with that, his birth name, Prince Siddhartha, and then his identity was
Yeah.
enlightened, Buddha, the enlightened one, and
Yeah,
and
well,
that's
if you were
what
going to talk about names, you could have done all of it.
Yeah, I know. See, these things I had in my head. And so, I was going to go with that, with our own life existence, with our names, and is that our identity, our, what is it that we're choosing to
Well,
convey
like one of the
with our
things,
personal.
later on, you can give a talk about names, because one of the things you can talk about is in the Zen tradition,
Mhm.
not in other traditions, but in the Zen tradition, you give a name to grow into.
Right.
In other traditions, they have a tendency to give you a name that kind of expresses who you are. Like if you're very gentle, they would
Are you
give
talking about our Dharma name?
yeah,
that
your
you have
Dharma
given
name
us?
would be gentle,
Yes.
or loving kindness, something like that.
The potential to be,
No,
or,
no, they would say, oh, you're very wise, you're a scholar, you're
Right.
becoming a monk, so I'll give you the name Prajna
Mhm.
for wisdom.
Mhm.
But in Zen, if I give you the name Prajna, it means I want you to grow into it.
Into it.
I may see the potential,
Right.
but I'm hoping that you'll grow into that name. So what does your name mean?
Happy heart. Isn't it
Uh-huh.
happy heart?
So
Yeah.
that's partially recognition,
Yes.
and that's also, and you're doing a pretty good job of personifying happy heart.
Mhm.
Because I tend to be lazy and I just kind of look at the qualities of a person. All right, thank you very much for your effort.
Thank you. Yes, giving me the opportunity for this.
Now, see, you know what? Why don't you ask him if he's got some questions? So sit back down there. His mom is having, he's pointing fingers and his mom's having.
What's this? What's that?
Don't ever pass up a chance when a young person comes in and they keep looking at stuff. That's the only time I would ever say, do you have a question?
Yes. Do you have a question? What are you curious about?
I already asked my mom. She says that's a fish, right?
Yes. Uh-huh. The
Tell them
Montauk?
about a fish. Tell them about a fish in Buddhism.
Yes, the Montauk is the rhythm.
No.
What is it?
That's the instrument. Tell them about a fish in Buddhism.
Like a koi? Are you talking about any
I don't
fish?
care. If you want to pick koi, you can pick salmon.
Salmon, koi,
You could pick trout.
trout.
What's the symbology with fish in Buddhism?
Oh boy, you know.
You don't
eight,
know.
I know the eight
I
auspicious.
don't know, it's a good
hold
answer.
on, hold on. The eight auspicious symbols in Buddhism. Oh my
No,
goodness.
first thing a Zen student has to learn is how to say, I don't know.
I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, thank
You know why
you.
we use a fish? You ever seen a fish sleep?
No,
Have you ever had goldfish?
no, I've never had a
You never had goldfish? You ever go to an aquarium? Where they keep a lot of fish?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Sharks
okay.
and
I was
fish.
gonna make your mother take you to the aquarium if she had. But I've never seen a fish sleep.
I've seen a penguin.
You see what?
I've seen a penguin.
A penguin sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, penguins sleep, you know why? Because they, like, see what I'm doing? They got eyelids,
Yeah.
but fish don't have eyelids.
So they always.
They don't have eyelids.
Yeah.
They never sleep. They're always awake.
They're really?
Yes, they are. Oh, how do you tell when they're asleep? Because they stop moving?
No, because this is if
They snore?
no,
No?
they stop moving and like they either find like a little cave
Uh-huh,
or they just rest on the seafloor
uh-huh.
wherever they can. But they sleep with their eyes open.
Maybe so. Might be true. But you know, a long time ago, people didn't know that. They just thought they were always awake. They thought they're always awake.
Or they're watching the
So,
dogs.
it's an important, in Buddhism, it's a symbol because we want to be awake. We want to be aware of what's going on all the time. Not crazy awake, just always aware of what's going on. So the fish became a very strong symbol. And then there's a second part of that. In China, when they saw the fish, and when he said koi, that's why we have koi around. In China, they believe koi, ready for it? You can tell your friends this. They believe they're baby dragons. That they grow up to be dragons, yeah. Because in China, you know, in England, where the knights went out to kill the dragons, we don't kill dragons. They had bad dragons in England.
Yeah.
But in China, they had good dragons that took care of people. So one of the things they do is they plan where they're gonna put their house. And someday this is a good conversation with your mom, feng shui. She's in the woo-woo, so she'll tell you about feng shui.
I don't know that much yet. I've still got lots to learn.
But the Chinese are very careful that they don't build a house on a dragon's back. Because it probably would hurt.
The dragon?
Yeah, probably would hurt the dragon. And maybe you'd get mad and burn the house down. You never know.
Maybe that's why our house burned down. Maybe it was built on a dragon's back.
Yeah, it could be on the back of the dragon. I had a man come here one time. He was really serious, dead serious. He looked at me, he looked at our temple here. See, that's our front door right there.
Yeah.
We usually come in the side door. Reverend Tam Mung, he didn't even know that. He thought that was our front door over here, the little door, and the big door was, I don't know what he thought it was. But we only come through that during big ceremonies,
Yes.
okay? So, this man came in, he looked at our front door, he looked at the temple, he said, your building's wrong. I said, what? He said, the feng shui here is bad.
Uh-oh.
You need to be facing that way. You need to turn the building. And I thought about that, I would say maybe for 15 seconds, you know, turn the building. I guess I could have knocked out, you know, put a door over there, but I decided, well, after I have 100 people tell me that I should change the building, maybe I'll do it.
No.
But I never forgot that because he said it. You need to change the building.
You need to
Bad
get up and
luck.
turn it.
Do you have any other questions for him?
Yeah, why do they use dragons in China for like New Year's and stuff? That's my question.
Why do they use dragons?
Yeah.
In China.
Isn't that to ward off?
For movies, did you say for movies?
No, they actually celebrate.
Celebrating.
They get like paper dragons and like they have a bunch of people underneath it.
Oh,
Like,
well, that's actually a cross between a dragon and a lion. But it's okay if you call it a dragon, because we have one here. And someday, if I can find somebody the same height as him, we're going to do the dragon dance. I was just thinking today about buying the drum for it. They have a drum that they roll around. And I was just thinking, I get another guy like him that's just about, and then the kids go around and people put money in the mouth. And the guy in the front has a little bag that donates.
Puts it in.
Yeah. So they're good luck.
the dragon dance like from.
Yeah, they're good luck.
Yeah,
So on New Year's, we just had a New Year's. How old were you the day before New Year's?
10.
10.
Yeah, I'm still
Well, if you were in China, the day of New Year's, you'd be 11.
10. Cool.
Because everybody is born 1 year old. Because they say, well, how long were you with the mom before you were born? Well, roughly 9 months, right? Well, they round it off, rounding off, and they say that's 1 year. So everybody has a birthday on New Year's. That's why they have the big celebration, because it's everybody's birthday. And the temples give a little red envelope with maybe $1 or a quarter in it to everybody as a gift. And they give them oranges and tangerines as a gift for the new year. And then when your mom might give you more than a quarter, and the people give the monks, they'll give the monks some money so they can buy soap, and toothpaste, gas for their car and stuff like that on New Year's. And they stay up all night. And they dance and they sing. And they drink hot cocoa, and if you're a monk, the kids make hot cocoa and I get it free. That's pretty cool. Otherwise, they charge like $1 for a cup of cocoa. Any other question?
Yes, have you ever seen the TV show Avatar? He's a monk and he won't kill the Fire Lord, so he takes away his cha, I think. He blocks his chi. He blocks his chi so he can't firebend anymore.
Okay, so he walks with chi.
No, he blocks the Fire Lord's chi. And he's a monk, he won't kill anyone.
Well, yeah, monks don't usually kill people. Only in movies do monks kill people.
Avatar didn't kill anyone.
What?
He said the Avatar didn't kill anyone. It's a telly show from Nickelodeon.
Well, I've heard of Avatar. I wasn't sure what it was. Yeah, but monks protect people. They don't.
Yeah, like Guitar and his brother, her brother.
Sokka.
Yeah, Sokka.
Yeah. Well, you know what chi is? You don't know what chi is?
No.
You know where your belly button is?
Yeah.
That's where chi lives. Chi is your life force. Yeah, it's real. And I practice an art known as Tai Chi. So what do you suppose that's all about? That's developing the chi. Only a long time ago it was a martial art. But now they just take the form and they use it as exercise. It's good exercise, but it's good balance. It's good for old people because they learn to not fall down. Every time I go to the doctor, the first thing the nurse says is, have you fallen in the last 6 months? But this is a balance. When I was young, I did judo. And you had to learn right here below your belly button where your center was. And if you stayed at that place, nobody could throw you. But if you forgot where your center was, boom, 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 boom. And judo is like Japanese wrestling. Okay? So chi's a real thing. Yeah. And if you breathe the way we breathe in meditation, you become like a rock. I saw a demonstration of this one time. And I coached somebody into doing it. And I said, because they started talking, a bunch of us Americans were talking about chi. And they said, oh, it's all made up, it's just an idea. And I said, no, actually it's real, because I had done martial arts when I was in the military. And I said to my friend, who was a very strong meditator, I said, okay, push my friend. And we were all sitting on our legs. We were in a Japanese temple. So this guy got up there and he just slid him across the floor. Like I could reach down, just slide you across the floor. And I said, okay, come on back. I said, no, just meditate. Well, what do you want me to do special? I said, I want you to do anything special. Because I knew he was a good meditator. And the minute he started meditating, he put everything down here. Okay?
Okay.
And then I told the guy, push him. Couldn't move him. Could not move him. And I knew this worked because when I did Aikido, that was one of the exercises we did every night before we began, is we learned to control our breathing, and then we'd practice trying to push the guy in front of us, which we couldn't. Yeah. All right. Next time you come, more questions.